Hello YouTubers, my name is Attila Mathe from Blue Sky Photography, and today I would like to talk to you about the Panasonic FZ2000. Now, I own this camera since January 2017, so I can say that I have a good few months of experience with the camera, and I just want to tell you my opinion and my experience with this camera. Now, like you all know, this is a 1-inch sensor bridge camera, and until this January I always was thinking, and I had the opinion that the 1-inch sensor cameras, they are not good enough for professional work, let's say. Well, kind of my opinion has changed, you know, since I use this camera. Now, obviously, if we talk about photography, this camera will not be able to produce same results like an APS-C size camera, but that is normal because this is a 1-inch sensor camera. So in this video I wouldn't touch so much the photography side of this camera, because this camera is obviously a strongly video oriented camera with a great photo still capabilities, I would say. So I purchased this camera in January 2017 or December 2016 or something like that. I'm not pretty sure now at the moment, but something like that. And I did purchase this camera for video work, especially for my YouTube work, you know, because I used to shoot with the Sony A6000 my YouTube videos, and after that I used to shoot with the Nikon D7200. But those the Sony was great, you know, the A6000 was great in autofocus and in 1080p. But my problem it was that the Sony sometimes shut down, you know, on me, even in 1080p, because it was overheating. So it happened because I couldn't see the screen with the Sony. And it happened that I tried to shoot the video, you know, and I was talking, and when I finished the video, I just go there and I see that 3 minutes or 4 minutes the camera shut down. So I had to do it all again. So it was a big pain. Anyway, then I sold my Sony A6000. That was the last piece of a camera from my E-mount, Sony E-mount gear. And then I started to shoot with the Nikon D7200. Now, it was pretty difficult because Nikon cameras and mostly DSLRs, you know, they have this problem if you want to shoot video with them. They use the contrast detection system, sorry. And because they use the contrast detection system only, in the autofocus, you know, you will have this refocusing. I call it refocusing. I don't know, maybe you can call it in a different way, where the camera will refocus just quickly, you know, on your face. Now, Panasonic cameras, they have this as well because they use contrast detection. DFD system, how they call it, you know, but that is a contrast detection based system, autofocus system, and they have this issue, but it's so small that you can't really notice. So as you can see in my videos, sometimes it happens, but it's negligible, so that's not an issue. With Nikon though, it was almost all the time, so it was very bad. I just couldn't use it. So I ended up using manual focus. So I set up the manual focus and then I shot my video shots. But I had to take care because if I moved forward or backward a little bit, I got out of focus, you know, and nobody was there to adjust because I do it myself. So anyway, then I decided to purchase a video camera for my video work and leave the photography separate from video. And that was a great move, I tell you, because at the moment you can't really find a camera which one will make it both, you know, like in the same time. You could, but you should spend a lot of money, many thousands of euros I should spend. Let's say I could buy a Sony A7R Mark II, but even that camera has a lot of disadvantages over this Panasonic FZ2000, which is still a 1-inch sensor camera, but for video it is just great, brilliant, unbelievably good. So for video, you don't really need big sensors. Now, the Sony A7R Mark II, it's a full-frame camera, you know, I don't want to compare the two because it's not comparable. But for video, I tell you, the Panasonic FZ2000, for me, it's much more appealing than the Sony A7R Mark II. First of all, because there is no record limit, so I can just record how much I want. It doesn't really matter, you know, because until the battery dies or until the card fills up, you know, I'm okay. So that was again an issue with Sony, because sometimes I just woke up, you know, that oops, I should have started again, and I didn't. So anyway, then I decided to purchase the Panasonic. Then I was thinking and debating a lot which one to buy from Panasonic. There was the G85, there was the G7, there was the FZ2000, and like we all know, the FZ2000 is not a really cheap camera. I mean, at the moment it's about 1,200 euro. I purchased like for 1,300 if I'm not wrong, something like that. So it's not a cheap camera, but it worth every penny. And let's see why I say it works. So first of all, the autofocus. The autofocus will be fast, and I tell you, it will be fast enough for any video work you want. Now, I wouldn't say that it is as fast as the Sony cameras, you know, like the A6500 or the A7R Mark II or the A7 Mark II. No, it's not as fast. In photography, if you do photography with it, it is fast enough, it's lightning fast. We all know that Panasonic DFD system in point-to-point, it is very, very fast. In tracking, I did try several times, you know, to shoot in my son's rugby matches, and I did try the tracking. It works okay, fine, but it's not as good as those ones. But anyway, like I said, let's not talk about photography, let's talk about the video side of the things. So in video, the autofocus and the tracking, it is okay. I never found any difficulty with tracking. And you see, sometimes I'm moving around in the shot, like just like now, you see, and it tracks my face, no problem. You can see I move closer and I move back, and it's okay. I can see the square on the screen, and it tracks my face, no problem at all. So a few days ago, I saw that there was a video in regards to the Panasonic GH5's autofocus. And I tell you that I think that is a little bit overhyped, you know, that problem. If the autofocus on this camera, the FZ2000, is good enough, I wouldn't say that Panasonic will make a weaker autofocus in the GH5. I put my hand on the GH5, and I had in my hand for 2 hours. Okay, I didn't have for 2 weeks, but I had in my hand for 2 hours. And I will place a card up here. You can see the video where I tested the GH5 in the camera shop on the launch day. But I didn't notice anything. I did try to autofocus in video. I didn't notice any issue with it. I don't know. Like I said, if you look at this camera, you can see that it tracks my face, no problem at all. So I don't know what's the problem. Anyway, let's not talk about the GH5. Let's talk about the FZ2000. So the autofocus, it is fine. No problem at all. Now, the rest of the functions, you know, like the built-in ND filter, I love it. I tell you, when I'm shooting outside, just switch on auto mode and the camera will have, you know, 6-stop ND filter built in the camera. So there are like a microphone input, headphone input, all this kind of stuff, you know, incorporated, image stabilization incorporated, slow motion, dolly zoom effect, you know, these kind of things. I don't really use those kind of things, but if you need it, it's there. So I will say after 4 months of experience with this camera, I am really pleased with this camera. Like I told you, if you want to do photography as well, the photography side is okay, but the image quality you don't want to compare with the APS-C size sensor. But I will post a few pictures up here, so you can see a few pictures which one it was shot actually with the Panasonic FZ2000 in rugby matches of my son, you know, or other places. So I will show you a few pictures just to have an idea how it is the image quality in photography. Now, like I said, because I'm an image quality freak, I will notice a difference between the APS-C size sensor and the 1-inch sensor. That's obvious because the 1-inch sensor is smaller, APS-C size is bigger. And that's normal. I was expecting that. But I didn't purchase this camera for that. I purchased this camera for video. And for video, this is a great camera. I cannot praise enough. For this money, I tell you that you will get a great one-in-all package. You will get a great lens, which is, you don't really have to change lenses. It's just over there. It's 24 to 470 or 480. 24 to 480, yeah. So it's... I wouldn't say that I didn't really use, you know, so zoomed in and so. No, I didn't really use that. I don't know if I will use it or not, but it is there. and it is a great lens, you know, it is a fast enough lens. It's a 2.8 to 4, f2.8 to 4 lens, Leica branded lens. And I have to tell you, as you can see in my videos, you know, all these videos were shot with the FZ2000. Even now I'm talking, it is shot with the FZ2000 and /2500 in US. And you can see the image quality, it is excellent in 4K. So all I can say, if you want a great compact video camera, which is compact, when I mean compact, I don't mean the small one, pocket size, no. I mean compact compared with bigger cameras, you know, video cameras. This is pretty, it looks like a DSLR. It's almost the size of my Nikon D7200, I would say. But if you look for something which can be professional video in smaller package, this is the way to go. Panasonic FZ2000. You won't be disappointed, I tell you. And any video feature you've got in it, you know, it's professional level. I can tell you. So I call it mini GH4, you know, it's just like that. So if you have any question about the FZ2000, or if you want me to explain something, how to do and how to do this or how to do that, please feel free and leave a comment down below and ask, and I will try to make a video about it. But I don't want to speak about specifications, you know, and all kind of things, because it's no point. If you want to see specifications, you know, you can just search around, you know, and you will find specifications everywhere. But I think the most important things in a camera is the image quality, is the autofocus, and the low light capability. Now, the low light capability of this camera is not really great in photography. In video, it is good. I don't say that it's good as Sony A7S, no, don't expect that. But until ISO 4000, it's okay. You don't notice anything. So I was shooting in dimmer environment, you know, and it was okay, completely fine. You don't really see any noise in the video. So I think that most of the time, for most situations, it's okay. That's what I think anyway. And let's not forget that anytime you can add some extra light, except if you are in a concert or somewhere. But I have a friend, and well, he's a follower of mine, you know, and he's living in Holland, and he's shooting with Panasonic FZ2000, and he's shooting only in concerts, you know, and bars and these things. So I will place his channel's link, I will place it down in the description. So if you want to see some shots with the Panasonic FZ2000, on a dim environment, because that is really dim environment, you know, in a bars and concerts and these kind of things, you can see on his channel, you know, and you can go over there. So other than that, I don't think that there's much to say. I want to mention here that the only disadvantage what I see in this camera is the single SD card slot. And it happened with me once that the card failed, you know, and I lost my footage. But it was only a footage that I could redo it, reshoot, so it was okay. But if it would have been some, let's say, important footage, you know, I would be in trouble. So that's the only disadvantage I see in this camera, that it's only a single SD card slot. But if you want dual SD card slot, you must purchase the GH5, you know, because that has dual SD card slot. And actually, that is the first camera on the market who shoots video on both cards simultaneously, so it will save on both cards, because many cameras like the Nikon D7200, it has two SD card slots, but the video will be saved only on the card number 1. But in GH5 you can save the video on the both cards simultaneously. So that's the only disadvantage I see in this camera, the single SD card slot. Now, like I said, if you do photography, completely different story. So I think for photography you don't really want to choose this camera if you want image quality and sharp images. And it is sharp, it is okay, but it's not as sharp as APS-C size or full frame sensor. You cannot expect that, because this camera is not for that kind of jobs. So I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. I just wanted to share with you my experience after 3 months with the Panasonic FZ2000. And I don't really have to put any footage, you know, because you can see all my videos, you can see the video quality, all my videos are shot with the FZ2000. Photos, like I said, I will post up here, you know, so you can see some photos I did with the FZ2000. And if you have questions, feel free and ask. I will try to answer it. And other than that, I wish you a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.
Straight to the start of intoxicating wine. Lingering touch, these soft words whispered in the dark. Set my heart